right outside the building. I'll be in just a minute. Hang on.
And that proves nothing stands in the way of NCR's winning spirit, right? Oh, just like to also remind you, please have your name tags with you at all times. Well, good morning. Did everyone have a great time out in the desert last evening? Good. There was one Chairman's Award winner we did not have a chance to recognize yesterday, and we wanted to do that now. From FSD, from China, a Category 2 winner with 6 CPCs. Would you please stand so we can recognize you, Albert Song. Albert, where are you? Oh, right over here. Congratulations, Albert. Everybody talks a lot about change in your business, but let's talk about something that doesn't change, and that's the importance of the people. Someone once said that the creation of strategies and the achievement of objectives are never accomplished by the companies. They're accomplished by the people within those organizations. You can have the greatest technology in the world, but without a great organization and without great people in that organization, those technologies go nowhere. Those technologies do nothing without the people. Without you, you are NCR.
Royal Bank looks at NCR, and we're in a number of different areas touching the customer. And when the customer looks back to NCR, they know that I am NCR, definitely to them. There's no delineation between all the different things that we're doing. They look to me to be the face of NCR as a single NCR.
Some people say we live in a world where giant industries speak to other industries, where the computers of faceless corporations grind endless numbers to pass back and forth, where assets are counted in cold steel and cash. But NCR knows our world is made of people, billions of individuals with daily needs, people in business, people in school, people with hopes and dreams and a desire to get ahead. We live in a world where families must be cared for and bills must be paid. A world where men and women get up every day to make their world a better place. NCR gives even the largest organizations the power to treat each customer as an individual, not as a number, but as their only customer. Whether it's across the counter or across a continent, at a kiosk, an ATM, or over the internet, NCR is there with solutions that make doing business easier, more convenient, and more secure. From data warehousing to CRM, from store automation to e-business, from self-service to payment solutions. Some people say we live in a world of faceless companies, but not at NCR. Because NCR is more than a brand and a corporation. NCR is people, and people are NCR.
Life, I live my life bring to the world everything I can.
I am NCR.
I am NCR.
I choose to live
Yo soy NCR.
as a means to give
I am NCR.
everything I am.
I am NCR.
As we
I am NCR.
share our dreams.
I'm NCR.
As we
I'm NCR.
share our lives.
I am NCR.
I'll lead the way.
I am NCR.
Like a shining star.
I am NCR.
I am that light. I am NCR.
I am service.
I am quality.
I am technology. I am new ideas.
I am solutions.
I am service. I am here for you.
I am committed. I am NCR.
Strong. I am bold and strong. And I dream beyond what the world can see. Brave.
私は NCR です。
I am unafraid.
I am NCR.
I am visions born
I am NCR.
of integrity.
I am NCR.
As we
I am NCR.
share our dreams.
I'm NCR.
As we
I am NCR.
share our lives.
I'm NCR.
I'll lead the way.
I am NCR.
Shining star.
I am NCR.
I am that light. I am NCR. Every life is a precious gift. Precious gift meant to share. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, life, every life is a precious gift. Precious gift that is meant to share. Oh, as we share our dreams, as we share our light, I'll lead the way like a shining star. I am that light. I am that shining star. Shining star. I am that light. I am NCR.
I'm NCR. I am NCR. I am NCR.
Yo soy RCN.
I am NCR. I'm NCR.
I'm NCR. I am NCR.
I am NCR.
私は NCR です。
You are NCR, and together as a team, you are what makes NCR great. Teamwork is what happens when people take a shared objective and decide to work towards it. Each of you is here today because you understand that, and because in the past year you've worked hard to build on the power of teams and to get things done for your customers. This morning, we want to take an up-close look at the 5 business units and share some of the notable innovations in each division. To lead this discussion, would you please join me in welcoming from the Retail Financial Group, Rob Davis, and from the Teradata Division, Mark Hurd.
I think if there's anything we learned in 2000, it's this, that NCR knows how to win. If we have what it takes to win, I think in 2000, it showed that we do. Our performance last year shows the market that I think we're clearly not the NCR of old.
Yeah, we're a real company to be reckoned with.
Just look at what I think FSD did. When you look at what they did with ATMs, we shipped 50,000, more than 50,000 ATMs in the year 2000.
That's right. That was the first company to break that threshold. And that means, and you heard Lawrence say this yesterday, that means that we had the #1 market share for the 14th year in a row.
And System Media had an incredible year with NCR Online.
Well, in just 12 months, System Media moved from having only 74 U.S.-based online accounts to having more than 900 global accounts. And that makes 55% of the division's revenue that's now web-enabled. And that's not all. The Worldwide Customer Services organization scored a strategic victory in acquiring Forefront Technologies. And that moved us to a leadership position in EMEA right away in that market. And in the retail division was not to be outdone. They led the market in fixed position scanners, and they had a tenfold improvement in the web kiosk business.
Sounds like we have an opportunity to uptick the microphone technology somewhere this morning. I think too, and Royal Bank of Canada is a perfect example. It was just a huge win for us, the outsourcing win.
Another thing that's good about that is there were 3 business units that came together. Customer Services, System Media, and Financial. They all came together to be a part of this, and it's a good example of what we can do when we put one face forward to the customer.
Well, we asked a CNN international correspondent to go to Canada and to tell us a little bit more about this accomplishment. Let's take a look.
In a growing number of industries, the outsourcing of information technology and other business processes is steadily gaining acceptance. Outsourcing is proving especially valuable to many banks. Last year, Royal Bank of Canada, one of the leading financial institutions in North America, decided to outsource the management of their ATM network to NCR.
There were things that we had a core competency at and wanted to continue to manage, and there were other things that, quite frankly, we had neglected over the years. Royal Bank had a dated help desk technology and a non-existent cash management technology, and we're looking for outside expertise that would help us advance our business and help us reduce costs. The start point for Royal Bank really was relationship with NCR, and that cannot be underscored.
NCR was already doing business with the bank when the new outsourcing opportunity came along.
The pressure was definitely on. I mean, there was no room for failure here. We were going to win this deal.
NCR had to be competitive on price, but our decision was not made solely based on price. NCR won the business based on product.
The thing that makes NCR's solution unique in the industry is this. 3 independent divisions: Customer Services, WCS, the Self-Service Division, FSD, and the Consumables Division, System Media, all came together to deliver an integrated solution.
The solution that we provided them combines the best ATM in the world with the best global services organization in the world with the best consumables in the world. And so this really is a bringing together of all of the things that makes NCR a great company to do business with.
Longtime pioneer in automated banking, Royal Bank's self-service network is the largest in Canada, nearly 5,000 ATMs. The new agreement calls for NCR to assume complete operational management, from installations and upgrades, to managing all consumables such as ATM receipts, to total maintenance and support.
We're their single stop. We're accountable end to end, and we accept that responsibility, and we'll manage the relationship very effectively on behalf of the customer.
We've been able to reinvest in our network, position our network going forward so that we have a viable business, allow the customer to have choice, and through the cost reduction we've achieved, not pass any of those expenses back onto the customer, but deliver a higher value product to them.
As for NCR, the company says this is truly a milestone agreement for them.
It moves NCR WCS from a tactical relationship to a strategic relationship with the bank.
This is a 7-year contract, which is the longest contract that we've ever had for consumables.
And one of the real benefits of a 7-year deal is it gives NCR and FSD in particular some added control in the account. It protects our investment going forward, in that it will make it very difficult for competitors to come into the picture now.
We're linked into the fabric of their organization, and it's more of a long-term vision that we'll work on together.
Beyond the terms of the contract itself, the Royal Bank agreement holds the potential for future business.
The Royal Bank of Canada project actually showed us how we could execute against our strategy. We've said how important this outsourcing business is to our business, but this is one where we actually went out and did it.
The company says their partnership with Royal Bank signals a new era for NCR. and sends a powerful message to the business world.
It says to the world that we're not going to be just a break-fix organization anymore. Right? We have the reputation of when it breaks, we come out and we fix it, and that's it. This moves us into strategic management of environment for customers. And it'll send a message to competition that they're going to have to get better. They're going to have to broaden their games if they want to play with us.
This is Russell Pickering reporting for NCR.
Well, the Royal Bank Agreement has made us realize that there's an enormous potential for our outsourcing business, Mark.
First, do you think that guy's really on CNN?
I don't think so. I've never seen him.
I've never seen him.
And I watch CNN quite a bit.
I haven't seen that guy. We're going to see more outsourcing opportunities, I think, come our way this year, especially from the financial services industry.
By the way, there's a great footnote to the Royal Bank story as well. In addition to our outsourcing contract, they commissioned us to upgrade the bank's data warehouse, Mark.
Yeah, that's right. Royal Bank's kind of an interesting story. They have an IBM warehouse, which is an SB2 UDB installation, and they have a Teradata warehouse. And as part of this agreement, actually separate from this agreement, we got a $3 million order from Royal Bank to upgrade the Teradata side of the warehouse, and they've installed our Value Analyzer application, which is a customer profitability application, which has become an extremely strategic application to the bank. And we have an opportunity now to run these guys being defined as IBM, out of the bank and be the sole warehouse provider for Royal Bank. So that's a real exciting opportunity for us.
And Teradata really demonstrated that NCR could grow and really outgrow the industry and win big in the business.
I mean, I think 2000 was clearly a good year for us. I think you heard a lot about that yesterday. We signed more than 100 new data warehousing customers last year. We got more than a dozen new economy customers, and it was very important for us last year to show we could get business outside the traditional marketplace, get business from companies that were new economy companies, E-Trade, Travelocity, people like this. We also signed more than 20 brand new customers for our new CRM analytical application as well.
You know what's also nice? You beat some strong competition from the likes of Oracle and IBM and Exchange Apps to do that. That's nice.
Yeah, and beating those guys is important for us. I mean, it's fun to beat them, but it's also important for us strategically. I think we demonstrated on top of that we could have consistent financial performance. Last year, our growth rates were at 72, 23, 28, and 20% every quarter in terms of growth over 1999. We added $107 million to the bottom line. That was improvement in profitability with 31% revenue growth. And with that kind of trajectory, we expect for the business to be profitable. And I clearly got that message from the chairman yesterday that it'd be important for the division to be profitable. I think probably more important than even what Lars was talking about yesterday is the fact that we've told the investment community that we will make this business profitable this year. And as we talked a little bit about the CPC, one of the worst things you can do is disappoint the investment community. As good as it was for us to grow 31% last year, it's frankly more important that we show in 2001 we can grow again and make the business profitable.
Yeah, they seem to only remember the last conversation you had with them, right?
Yes,
the last promises. Not only did Teradata achieve real significant growth, but you had some nice industry rankings. It's nice for the industry folks like the Gartner Group to rank us over Oracle and IBM in data warehouse performance.
Yeah, I mean, CRM, I don't know if people are familiar with this Gartner Group, but they're thought of as really the most industry, probably the best respected consultants in the industry, and they have these things called a Magic Quadrant. It shows your ability to execute in the marketplace and your vision in the marketplace. And this was the first time they ever had a CRM Magic Quadrant, and we showed up for the first time in the quadrant as a leader and a visionary in that space. That was very important for us. And then in the Business Intelligence Bible that called the Data Management Review, the DM Review Top 100, we moved our business from 18th place to the number 2 slot. That's not number 1, but number 2, so we have room to improve. But we beat both Oracle and IBM in this DM Review rankings of the most important companies in the business intelligence world. And 16 of our customers also won awards for best practices in driving business value in the business intelligence area, which probably is even more important than our number 2 ranking.
So for Teradata, it was a real year of not only acquisitions, but also a number of strategic alliances. Started with, there was an alliance with Sterling Douglas. In fact, it was a big deal for you, I believe.
Yeah, we actually wound up buying Sterling Douglas. Sterling Douglas was an acquisition of a company that improves our ability to provide demand chain management solutions. Well, you've heard a lot about CRM, and you will. It's a very important thing. The Sterling Douglas acquisition was really our move into the demand chain supplier side of analytics that'll nicely complement what we've done in CRM.
Here's another one that we talked about a lot in the press. Why don't you tell us about BroadVision?
BroadVision is a company that delivers e-personalization software. And this was a really, I think, good example of collaboration between business units. BroadVision badly wanted to extend the personalization of the devices that they personalize to ATMs. So it was very much on BroadVision's minds. We want to get access to your ATM network. So they wanted to work with Financial. I don't think Financial necessarily had to have BroadVision as a partner, but we had an opportunity because BroadVision collects lots of information off these devices, cell phones, faxes, emails, ATMs, etc. They have an opportunity to generate roughly a couple of gig a day worth of data. Now, if you keep a year worth of data, 365 times 2 gets to about 800 terabytes worth of 800 gig worth of information, almost a terabyte worth of information. That's an opportunity for lots of warehouses for their 1,000 customers. So this was an opportunity for a partnership between self-service and data warehouse to put a relationship that could be good for BroadVision, good for us, and we just got tremendous support from FSD on this. So this is an opportunity with tremendous partnership for us.
It's hard to believe we got to 1 terabyte for an individual in this short amount of time. And, okay, another great story was STS.
Yeah, we bought a company called STS. It's called Strategic Technology Systems. They are probably the most famous professional services high-end big database company in the world. Their CEO, Stephen Brobst, has become our CTO in Teradata, and it's been a great acquisition for us.
Okay, that brings us to another one, the Cirrus acquisition. And the Cirrus acquisition leads us to Duke University. Duke is one of the most respected business schools in the U.S., and at Duke, the Teradata CRM division is creating something really special there and something really interesting. Now, we're going to go back to this wannabe CNN correspondent we have. We sent him to one of Mark's favorite places, to the Duke University campus, to Duke's basketball arena.
North Carolina's Raleigh-Durham area, a high-tech mecca for companies around the globe, is now headquarters for a new group within the Teradata division of NCR. This area is also home to nearby Duke University, where world-class basketball and a world-class business school go hand in hand.
Today, Duke and Teradata are more than neighbors, they're partners. And the thing that unites them is this: they both have what it takes to win.
From national best-in-class awards for data warehousing, the company's highly successful core business, as well as for CRM, to the acquisition of Cirrus Integrated Systems, an established CRM leader. Mark Hurd, Executive Vice President and COO of Teradata.
Teradata already has a very solid lead in data warehousing worldwide, and we look to CRM as a way to drive new business. Cirrus brought us the added talent, the applications, and the power of analytics to be the undisputed leader in the customer relationship market.
Peter Heffring, who founded Cirrus, now heads Teradata's CRM division. He says his company brings another essential ingredient to the mix.
Cirrus has always had tremendous vision and passion. That's a key part of our success, and I think to a large extent has made us very attractive to NCR. By joining forces, we're able to deliver world-class CRM solutions on a global scale, and that makes us the team to beat.
Why such confidence from top executives? Consider this: the acquisition has tripled the number of Teradata employees, quadrupled its development team, and has already generated a multitude of new CRM customers. With the CRM market growing at an astounding 50%, Teradata is not just ready to play, they're poised to win.
Teradata set a goal of significant growth in the year ahead. So clearly, CRM is a huge opportunity for all of us all over the world. It's an opportunity to develop new business across our existing customer base and to attract customers that have never done business with us before.
Last month's issue of Fast Company magazine said NCR had a glorious history and a bright future.
Teradata bought Cirrus. Good move. A lot of other people can learn from their model. It's a smart way to do business, it makes sense, and it's really a visionary play.
Teradata predicts that future growth will come from both traditional and new economy business, and especially from data-centric e-business customers that see relationship marketing as critical to success. Underscoring Teradata's commitment to CRM is a unique partnership with the Fuqua Business School at Duke University. The company has pledged $5 million for CRM research to this school, which Businessweek magazine ranks among the top 5 MBA programs in the US.
We really pride ourselves on being leaders, being innovative, and having a collaborative spirit. We believe that that's what makes us a #1 global business school. We see that the partnership with NCR is really going to help us become more innovative and help us be leaders in CRM research and curriculum design.
We are very excited about this relationship. As new developments come through the pipeline, we'll be the first in line to receive them, which gives us an edge worldwide.
We couldn't be in a better position. We've got a great team, a tremendous track record, we've got momentum, and we will be the industry pace setters in CRM.
Playing at a level of excellence the competition can't match, making every shot count, having a passion to win. That's what makes Duke's Blue Devils and Teradata leaders of the game. This is Russell Pickering reporting for NCR.
Well, needless to say, we're excited about what Sirius has brought us and about the CRM opportunity. Just to give you an idea of the magnitude of the opportunity, we have roughly 1,000 data warehouses installed around the world. We've mapped how big the opportunity would be if we were to be able to sell our CRM application just into our existing base. That has the opportunity for almost $900 million worth of license fees. That's how big the opportunity is just into our base. This will be one of the most exciting opportunities for us. So 2000 was a great year for all of us. It was a building year, but underneath all that are some really tough questions.
Yeah, we could sit here and tell success stories all day long. We have a few left, in fact, but the real story here is what we're going to do in 2001.
I mean, I think that's the focus. We talked at CPC yesterday that I think we've shown clearly that we know how to reduce expenses. I think we're pretty good at that. We know what we have to do to get our margins improved. If you look at what we've done over the past several years, improving our margins in professional services, we were a company that basically had no gross margin in professional services several years ago, and we've shown we can turn that into to a nice business for us in terms of margins. Our software content has gone up. We've to the point now where in Teradata, 30% of our revenue comes from software. That's all improved our margins, and we've shown that we can make this company profitable.
Yeah, for instance, our Six Sigma work has identified $50 million in savings already that we've got on board. And then there's the global sourcing work, again, working at the profitability piece that has provided for us enormous gains. You know, by focusing on the high save areas and reducing the number of suppliers, the procurement guys have brought to us $67 million in savings.
Yeah, I mean, that's $67 million that's straight to the bottom line. So, I mean, I think if you recap, we've reduced expenses, we've proven we can improve our margins, and we've built an infrastructure now that we have to focus on growth.
And as we talked yesterday a little, in the past 20 quarters, you know, we've been through a real amazing transition. We have realigned our portfolio so that it has only core solutions. We've decided to exit a number of commodity businesses, got out of those, and then during that same 20 quarters, while we were doing that, we only grew the business twice. And the last time was last quarter, and it was the record at 2%. And the market didn't get too excited about that 2%. During that same time, though, and Mark, we shared this number with folks yesterday, that our operating income increased $1.1 billion. Now, not many companies that can say that. It's a great number. The amazing part of that, though, is that's not enough. You know, what the market and what our people are asking for is growth. Now that we've exited those commodity businesses, we have a chance for the first time that when we have growth, it really shows up in the total NCR bottom line as growth, as opposed to having growth offset by exiting businesses. So we have a chance to do that now.
Yeah, let me just try to make sure I put those statements in context, because I think it's a big issue for all of us as constituents of the company to understand. We've been through a long transition here. It's improved the profitability of the company, as Rob said, $1.1 billion. And I think it's improved people's view of the company. But we have to grow. We've told Wall Street this year that we're going to grow the total company, not Teradata, not some other division. We've told them we're going to grow the whole company 5% in revenue. And what does that mean? It means $300 million more of revenue to the company. It means over $100 million worth of improved contribution margin to the company. It has the opportunity. We talked yesterday in CPC a bit about price-earnings ratios, a bit about multiples that go on stock, and without getting very complicated again about it, it really comes down to the fact that stock price and valuation, and probably just importantly, the perception of all of us, which really goes into this thing called a multiple, is driven by a couple of things. It's driven by raw earnings, how much profit you make. That's kind of point one. The second point is really brought up in this thing called a multiple. It's driven by two things. One, your ability to consistently execute, meaning that you do what you say every time. Every quarter you show up with the numbers you told them you'd show up with. And the second thing is you got to grow. People really don't have time for companies that don't grow total revenue.
Yeah, and the bottom line is, as you said, we can't just grow one piece of the business. It's not enough for Teradata or for self-service to grow. We got to have a time when the entire company is growing at once.
Yeah, and what are we going to have to do to make that happen?
Well, it's probably a good time to talk about some of the things that we're doing right to set us up for 2001.
I mean, I think one of the most exciting stories to come out of retail is the relationship with Kmart.
You know, it's a great relationship, and it's just paid off recently with a commitment on Kmart's part that they will implement our innovative self-checkout systems in over 1,500 Kmart stores. Now, this could be the start of something really big for Scott and for growth at NCR.
All right, now we're going to go back to our CNN international correspondent who was on location at Kmart, and I think this guy got a lot of frequent flyer miles as he was doing all this. So let's take a look at the RSD Kmart video.
From supermarkets in South Melbourne to discounters in Dallas, retailers the world over agree competition has never been tougher. That's why retail giant Kmart has spent the last few years rejuvenating its stores to make them cleaner, brighter, and easier to shop, because the battle for customers will be won not just on price and value, but on service. To support their service improvement goals, Kmart plans to implement an innovative new self-checkout solution that allows customers to scan, bag, and pay for items on their own. Their technology partner of choice, NCR's Retail Solutions Division, a global leader in store automation.
The Kmart win is significant to us in that I think it legitimizes NCR as a marquee player in the self-checkout market.
Welcome. Please scan and bag your items.
Well, the NCR self-checkout solution really leverages two of NCR core competencies in bioptic scanning and in self-service technologies, and we've integrated those into a complete solution that allows customers to scan, bag, and pay for their items.
Why did a major retailer choose NCR over competition from both Optimal and PSI?
Our ability to align our self-checkout offering to their business driver around improving service levels in the store was the real key to the success. We have a system that meets their needs. We have the best return on investment that's available to them, and we have support infrastructure in place that was unparalleled by our competition.
Like many of its competitors, Kmart is trying to differentiate itself in the marketplace. NCR's self-checkout solution is a way to do just that.
For just quick one or two items, it'd probably be handy to have.
And the key feature that they found attractive over our competition was that our system requires the least amount of intervention from store personnel. It makes it easiest for their consumers to check themselves out in a rapid and convenient manner.
You could just do it yourself and you didn't have to wait on anybody else to do it.
So what do you think of it? Do you think it's easier?
Yeah, I think it's very handy.
It's kind of neat. Yeah, it's fast. It's kind of basically, how can I say it? It's kind of cool.
In 1999, Kmart celebrated its 100th anniversary. Today, the company has grown from a modest 5 and dime store in Detroit, Michigan, to nearly 2,200 Kmart, Super Kmart, and Big Kmart stores worldwide.
Insert cash or slide card.
The initial commitment from Kmart is to deploy 300 stores in 2001, with the opportunity to deploy probably to 1,500 stores overall between now and
the next 2 years.
NCR says the agreement with Kmart illustrates its ability to deliver a total solution, from analysis and planning to rapid deployment to ongoing support.
I think the Kmart win should serve as a rallying cry to our troops that we have the right solution, that we have the right support infrastructure, and that we can take this and drive significant revenues for the company in 2001.
Thank you for shopping at Kmart.
Clearly, NCR knows a thing or two about putting customers first. That's why the company offers a complete portfolio of store automated solutions that meet a broad range of retailing needs. So when retailers are ready to improve service, reduce cost, and gain a competitive edge, the first place they turn is NCR. This is Russell Pickering reporting for NCR.
Well, it's a great story of innovation in retail.
That was Russell's last chance, by the way, too. And that's not all. The investments that we've made in the future include a number of other things. Not only did retail invest in Scott, but we've invested in web kiosk and had a good year with web kiosk last year. And this will be the year that we take electronic shelf labels to market. It's well underway. Then we're growing the ATM outsourcing business as well. You heard some discussion about that. And then last week, System Media announced the first acquisition that's done, and Keith told me last night it was the first one since 1973. So it's been a little dry spell there, change in System Media as well with an acquisition. We'll continue to expand with in services with customers the likes of Cisco and Nortel. And these are just some of the ways that we grow the business, but we can find ways to really grow the entire business in the coming year.
So that'll mean our next System Media acquisition will be in 2028.
No, I don't know about that. That wasn't the story Keith was telling.
Yeah. Well, listen, I think what we're trying to convey here, right, is we want everybody to experience the feeling of growing. Lars mentioned the strategic plan for Teradata. Let me try to make sure that you all understand from a Teradata perspective what that 3-year vision is that he described a bit yesterday. First, we had to be able to show to the market, and Rob talked about what's happened in the past 20 quarters in terms of revenue growth. In the history of Teradata, since NCR acquired it in 1991, we had not grown the data warehouse business more than 10% in any single year since the acquisition. We hadn't grown more than 14% in any single quarter before what we executed over the past now 6 quarters. Now, that was really the first piece of this vision. We had to show we could grow for a whole lot of reasons. This year, the second piece, we have to show we can grow again. But we also have to show we can turn that into money. If $1.2 billion goes through our fingers, some of it really needs to stick. We need to be able to show the shareholder that we can turn that revenue growth into profitability. The third piece is we truly believe if we can execute on this 3-year vision of growth, we can turn into one of the franchise technology companies in the business and turn this into a great business that delivers world-class operating margin, 15-20% kind of operating margin to the bottom line, which would put us in the ranks of some of the companies you've described, Oracle, Microsoft, EMC, are a few that enjoy that kind of growth, operating margin kind of opportunity. We think that's a realistic vision given the economic model that we have in Teradata if we can execute on the growth.
You know, in short, good things happen when you're growing. You know, you get to hire people, you get new jobs and promotions. People even say nice things about you, and that makes for a nicer day.
Better than the alternative, I guess. It's really all about, you know, doing what you say. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to have a plan and you have to execute. Even when we had the bad news that Lars mentioned on CCC, the market was far more interested in our reconfirmation of our first quarter numbers. Because if you understand what's happened now over the past several quarters, they are trusting what we say. Now that is a fleeting, believe me, that is a fleeting thing. All you have to do is miss one time and you go back in the penalty box. The reason the stock went up, my opinion, was they listened a lot harder to what was said about Q1. We said we'll make those numbers. They believed it. What happened? Stock went up. They dismissed the bad news.
And one stumble and they forget all that good news,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
This is a real defining moment for us, though, and it's you know, we're on the cusp here. It's our chance.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether it was a long night in the desert last night or what for everybody, but I want to make sure from an energy perspective you understand the opening we have. We have an opening that we haven't had in 5 years. We have the commodity businesses Rob's talked about behind us. The stock is in a good position today because of what's transpired in the marketplace and our ability to perform. The stock may not be important to everybody, but it's a very important barometer of how people judge all of us. In the end, it is the ultimate scoreboard about how people define the job that we're doing. We're past the point where all of the positive growth we had in the company was compensating for getting out of these legacy businesses. Now the growth from the core businesses Rob described isn't weighed down by that. What does this mean for the company overall?
Well, it means that we have a chance to be a part of the best thing around. It means we have a chance to know what it feels like to grow, and that everybody in the business would know what it feels like.
Yeah, and I think if this is going to be a breakout year for us, and I think we're clearly right on the edge of that, it will be defined by our ability to grow. Now we get, I use this thing in our division, we get our first report card. I think we're down now to, we're still down to 20. We're down to a little bit over 20 days now, and we have to make it count.
Well, you mentioned last night in the desert. I think people had a good time last night in the desert. Maybe that's why the crowd's kind of quiet today, but last night in the desert, I noticed that one of the most popular spots was the fortune teller spot. And I understand that the most often asked question was, what's NCR's first quarter going to look like, and what's the rest of the year going to look like? Now,
wasn't Lars the one who was...
Lars was first in line. These pulse calls and these outlooks and all. Well, instead, now we've gone to the fortune teller. And it would be nice if we really had someone who could tell us what the future really looks like.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to go to his office and talk to him about it. But hey, we have someone here, I think, that can do that. We've got Michael Weber. Why don't we get him out?
Bring him back out.
Well, gentlemen, I've been listening carefully from backstage, and I don't think you need someone to look into the future. It is clear from all of those remarkable acquisitions and innovations that we just heard about that you're going to make your numbers, and I think everyone here agrees, don't you? Thank you again, Michael. Once again, join me in thanking Mark and Rob. Thanks a lot, guys. Now, we know you're going to make those numbers because success is a state of action, and you are a company in motion. Am I right? Willing to move everything but your hands quickly and together. Now, I'm going to take advantage of this remarkably diverse gathering of talent to try and demonstrate what is possible when we work toward a common goal. These people were relatively safe yesterday, and now I'm looking for kind of more specific attributes. Woman in the red dress right there, not looking at me for a second. Is there anyone over here who speaks and reads Spanish relatively comfortably? By a show of hands? You do, right there on the end? I'm going to ask you to step up onto the stage if you would, please. And the fact that you were that brave means that I'll be gentle with you. Go right ahead. How about someone from over here that speaks and reads French? French. From France? Let me know where you are, because if I have to find you on my own, it's like the little guy with the tambourine. It's no fun. There's somebody over here? Where's that? Boy, we put all the really rich multilingual people over here. Would you please step up on stage? Thank you very much for your help. And now for everyone else that was afraid to play along, we'll pick an English reader. Now look at that name, Adriana Dominguez. You don't read or speak any Spanish at all, do you? Only English, right? Great, because that's what I need now is English. Let's give her a hand for helping out. Get up here, careful with the steps. We will put a microphone over here, and we'll send you over here one at a time to kind of suffer individual circumstances and consequences. And I have here Christian Signol's L'Enfant des Terres Blondes. No idea what that means. Our French speaker will hand this to you, and we'll start out with you. I'll ask you to step over to the microphone, please. And I'll ask you to do two things. First of all, just open the book anywhere and make sure you're comfortable reading that size print in this light. Yes? And now please flip through and just make sure that the words on the pages are different. Not every word on every page, but just check 2 or 3 places, kind of spot check. Looks okay? The last thing I need you to check are the page numbers. They're probably in the upper or lower corners, but just flip through and make sure those are different. And you'll see that they get bigger and bigger, or, as you're going backwards, smaller and smaller as you go through. It's the way people think differently. Our Spanish speaker, our Spanish reader, yes? From Chile, terrific. Help me, Gianluca? Gianluca, terrific. Michael, nice to meet you, Gianluca. What we'll do is we'll start out with you doing one thing for me. As I flip through like this, very slowly, anytime you like, you say stop. You're going to pick a page number for him. Exactly here, or a little bit more, or a little bit less? Exactly here. Page 179. Please turn to 179 in your book. And what I would like you to do is not out loud, but just for yourself, read the top line of text, just for yourself. Just not out loud, but just to yourself so that you know the words that are there. And now what I would like you to do is to pick out the most interesting, the most difficult, or the longest word in that sentence. Don't tell me what it is, but you just decide for yourself. There may be some choices. Is this something, yes or no, that you could make a mental picture of? Okay, and what I would like you to do is to imagine a picture of what this word represents, because I unfortunately do not speak French. So we're going to have to work with the idea instead of the specific word. But now as you look back, this word begins with the letter T. Is that correct? Excellent. But you're making a mental picture of something else that I don't think is related to this word. They're very cold and small. Is this something else you were also thinking about? Okay, I need you to just think about your word. Not the other stuff, although that is kind of interesting what you're thinking about. Oh, okay, I see. We have to share a common vision. These little cold things you were thinking of are kind of wet and very, they're unique, much like the people here. Yes, they're snowflakes, is that right? But that wasn't the word you were thinking of. That's not the T word. The T word you're thinking about and talking about now has something to do with movement or action. It's a kind of a spinning air or a whirlwind, is that correct? Please just look at the letters of the word for a moment, please. Look at it again, please, and just see the letters. Don't say them, but just see the letters for me. If you look up, I get nothing. No, not say it, just look. And don't look away. T-O-R or T-O-U-R, and then something like the number, like a billion, like trillion or something like that. Is that the word that you were thinking of? Let's give him a hand for being a clear thinker. Thank you very much. Go right ahead. It's fine. You can leave that there, take it with you. It doesn't matter. Thank you. You're welcome to take it if you like. You're welcome to take the book if you like. Oh, yeah? Absolutely. Yes, please. Any way you like. My pleasure. Another nice hand. Thank you very much. But the stairs.
Thank you.
Lars, I just want to mention that I've kind of noticed a universal trait. It seems that the top NCR performers, the ones that we recognized yesterday, if they have a chance to go downstairs the easy way or off the side of the stage the difficult way, they want to take the difficult way. So I think that's a good thing. They're looking for the challenge. I just noticed that. We'll start with you next. We'll have you step over to the microphone. Try something with a little bit more proximity. If I open up the edge of the book like this, I'd like you to look at the first word of the text. Oh, good, there's no title at the top. Can you see the first word of the text there? Yeah. And if I go on a few more pages, is that a different word? Yes. And a few more pages, that's a different word? There's no word, okay, but that's different. Yes. Absolutely. And here? Different? Different, good. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'll look the other way. I'm going to go through like this. Whenever you like, you say stop, all right? Okay, stop. I'm sorry I let some more go on. Do you want to stop here? Do we go on again? Again? Stop. I apologize. Do you see a word there? Yes. Are you happy with that, or do you want something different? No, it's okay. You're okay, you're sure. Hold the book between your hands, please. Okay. Step up to the microphone. Again, my question is this something that you can make a mental picture of? It is? Please close your eyes and see a picture of this word. I promise not to embarrass you. I will ask you to keep your eyes closed for a moment. Please do keep your eyes closed. And imagine it not like a photograph, but like a very simple picture. This is something outside, yes?
Yes.
And would you please tell us what word you're thinking of in Spanish?
In Spanish?
In Spanish, yes.
One word. That's the first.
Yes, what is that word right now?
Barco.
Bark?
Barco.
And what would that be in English?
Ship.
Pretty close? Thank you very much. Thank you for your help. You're welcome to it. You're welcome to it. I just wanted to make sure that was S-H-I-P because there's a lot of people listening, and with your reaction, I wanted to make sure I wasn't misunderstanding. Another nice hand for him. Thank you very much. Thank you. I don't speak Spanish. Over here, please. Book in English. It's the language with which I am the most comfortable, so we'll make it the most difficult test. So we're going to have you focus in, and I want you, as I go through, can you see the first word there? Yes. And we're going to move on to a different word. Is that a different word? Yes. And that's a different word, just the first? Yes? Different? Yes. And that's different? Yes. And different? Yes. The same thing as we go through. Anytime you like, you say stop. Stop. And look at the first word of the text right there. Uh-huh. Are you happy with that word, or do you want a different one? That's fine. You're sure? Yes. I want you to think of the first letter, not as a sound, but as a shape, as if you were writing it. And I'd like you to make it a capital letter. Think of it like a big letter. Don't say yes or no. I'm just going to say the letters of the alphabet. Don't react. Look out at them, please. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, A, B, C, D. It's a letter A. Is that right? Correct. Good, 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 good. My problem was the distance. Thanks. Think of the last letter of the word, please. And again, it helps me if you think of it as a shape instead of a sound, and it helps me if you think of it as a capital or an uppercase letter. It's curved like a C, but it's backwards. That's a letter D. Is that correct? Correct. Good, 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 good. Who is Stephen? Is the gentleman you were sitting next to named Stephen? No. Then I will leave that alone. I'm sorry. With all this information, it becomes confusing. Would you please tell us in the microphone, out of all of those words you looked at, what word that is that you decided to think about, that letter that begins with the letter A and ends with the letter D? Afraid. I'm very glad to hear you say that. You've done a terrific job. A nice hand for her. She was terrific. Thank you very, very much. You were great. Thank you so much. Be very careful heading down. Thank you. Now, there is a scientific theory that when we think, our thoughts take the form of waves. You've heard of alpha waves and beta waves and theta waves. And perhaps these thought waves can travel across space, kind of a mental broadcasting, if you will. Well, radio is such a powerful medium because it has the power to bring new ideas and incredible people close to us wherever we are in the world through these waves filled with ideas. This morning, I want you to meet a man who used the power of radio to rise out of poverty and build an empire. In his nonstop rise to greatness, he became a disc jockey, then a broadcast executive, and finally a legislator. Today, he helps others step out of mediocrity and find their own magic and meaning in life. Would you please join me in welcoming one of the great motivators of our time, Mr. Les Brown. Les?